Okay, so Preston picked up on what Tiffany's doing, but he's telling me that Costco actually went bankrupt. Obviously went bankrupt a while ago, but like Costco's doing really poorly, and I don't know why they're trying to flex on a homeless woman. Also, that typically means that somebody's in a lot of legal problems, and it's not the homeless person. Typically, people who are homeless are victims of crime, unlike what the media tells you. But like they're kind of right in a way where they're like people who are homeless are like they're not the ones that are chronically mentally ill, but it's the result of chronically mentally ill people with legal rights in a barely functioning area. So someone's about to go broke. So also what I'm cooking finally. I got the stove to be working. I'm really happy about it. Yesterday I accidentally let the entire thing on fire, like all around the stove and a bit of the stove itself and the canister, because the gas leaked, and I thought it'd be fine because like I waited a bit and I was like, oh, it'd probably like evaporate really quickly. It didn't. So it ended up just like, you know, oh my god, can I just move this a little bit? Should I move it like this? I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Okay, that's a little better, but like not really. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about Preston. He's misbehaving intentionally. He's not really responding to me anymore. And he's doing all the wrong things, and he knows it's not like good for him. But he's doing that anyway. So I don't know why he's doing that. But I don't know if he's trying to tell me something, as in like something's not right in the area, or if he's just doing that because he's like misbehaving because he's a puppy. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like way of taking his aggression out on me. Or if you're wondering, it has 2 packets of tomato paste, an Alfredo paste packet. This is just minced beef and some milk. So the milk actually helps cook the beef and soften the beef if you're getting kind of low quality beef. Just kind of boil it in milk a bit, but like honestly, if you're getting good cut beef and you use milk on it, it's gonna ruin it. So don't do that. It's for bad or cheap cuts of beef or frozen foods. Like that'll actually help. Like with also like it helps with the fats of the meat, like just texture overall and everything. But yeah, a little trick I learned. Also, I think I might have used a very small saucepan for this. I was hoping that it will like evaporate, but like I'm expecting this a lot of the fats to be like kind of. See, I'm just gonna take it away from the top of it. Skim the fat a little bit. Also, like when I was a kid, I don't know if anybody else had experienced this. I used to order milk packets from school, and one of the milk packets that I had, it wasn't even like, it didn't taste expired, but it tasted really weird. So I asked one of the teachers what was going on with it, and she told me like not to tell anyone about what happened or like what the milk packet was, and they laced it with something, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, apparently a 8th grade teacher, Mr. Alexio, switched the milks or something. He figured out it was for one of his students, and he's like, no, he doesn't get anything. Sorry. I'm the boss here, not you. You didn't even tell me about this, so. And I'm like, yeah, way to screw over everybody involved. Oh, they're really stupid, the Greeks. But yeah, they are, they're still people, mind you. I don't actually hate white people. I want to be very clear on this. And like, I don't really care about the British police. I don't care for them, and I don't care about them. It's kind of how I feel at the moment. But yeah, Oh, there you go. The bottom part is a little cooked, but the top part's kind of not cooked. So that's that. Stove's still going. That's good. Not cooked, but I actually don't hate it. Oh, some bitch at Urban Outfitters stole 3 packets of food from me, and I'm like, why? Literally, like, she was literally on shift. I'm like, you could have bought those yourself, you know that? Like, I don't know why you would do that. And people keep confusing me for Tiffany because they actually like Tiffany, but they think she's ugly and what she's doing is not okay. But I'm like, you like her because you guys are like that. You just don't think of yourself like that, which is what's protecting you from killing yourself. Right? Like, it's kind of like innate, it's instinctual with people with the suicide stuff. Oh, also, somebody built this weird stuff in the middle of nowhere. It's not a board sign, and it's not for a sign either. They just decided to put that there, and I guess nobody wanted to clean it up or whatever. But yeah, that's what the defense mechanisms were primarily for, so they don't find out what they actually got involved in. And you can trigger it in some people. If they don't realize what they're doing and what they're involved in, then they won't do anything about it, which causes them to like be in a lot of shit. But anyway, what I've also learned is that like people use defense mechanisms so they don't understand who they are, so they don't end up killing themselves. But it's like hard to hide it from other people, you know what I mean? Like, this kind of why nobody really likes them. And then they use up all these excuses and they come up with all these theories as to why things aren't working for them. And I'm like, I'm sorry to say, even though some of the stuff that they come up with, those theories that they come up with and all that kind of stuff is plausible for other people, you're just a piece of shit. And also, I'm going to explain this because the cops weren't getting it. They were trying to follow, and the Canadian government workers weren't getting it. And they were trying to follow what the higher up CEOs were doing, but they're very simple and stupid, so they didn't really understand this. So with racists, especially white supremacists who are primarily French in origin, I don't know why they came to America, and I don't know why they're still alive. Oh, anyway, if I did something wrong and nobody told me it was wrong and like nobody ever forced me to do it, or people were like, it's better if you don't do anything about that even though you're wrong, like I would be really fucking shocked. Like, there was a bus driver who yelled at me for no reason and she tried to make it look like she had a point, and I'm like, can you not be a bitch for one day? Like, honestly. But yeah, the thing is with the white supremacists, and there's some in Europe, but they actually don't get treated very well and they get kicked out of the country, but they can't actually say it's because there's too many immigrants or whatever. It's because they're white supremacists and they're gonna ruin everything. They're racist and they're stupid, and other people think they're either childish or retarded. And they think there's something wrong with that person if that's the only person that they know. So that's like what that was. And I don't really blame them, to be honest, about how they think about that kind of stuff. But like at the same time, it's like they're not really helping either. I'm trying to boil this so like the beef cooks faster. Preston's having a really nice time outside with me. I know he seems very upset and stuff. It's because he's depressed. And the only guy who actually saw that was that one store owner today. I think he relates to him. He's very relatable, I found. A lot of people find him very relatable, which is a good thing. It means he's likable. But the problem is that not everyone wants to take care of him and wants to be his friend, which is something that he's upset about, but because he's a puppy. Like, I read a meme about this. I thought they were kind of exaggerating things there a little bit, but they weren't. A toddler was literally crying because he couldn't find his glasses, a 3-year-old boy. And his parents told him, you don't even have any glasses. Like, you've never worn glasses in your entire life. Why are you crying? And he started crying harder. And yeah, that's why he was crying. Like, but then when it's an adult that does that, most people assume that there's something else going on in their life. Right? There's something off about what they're saying, and they don't really know what's going on in that person's life. The other people who would be there, or he or she, or a singular person, whatever. But with a toddler, apparently that's exactly what that is. And I'm like, and people, I didn't know this, but they're like, babies are a real headache. This is why people's relationship gets so strained when they get older and they have kids. Like, even though the relationship was fine prior to that, it's really nothing compared to having kids, especially if you're a nuclear family. Like, as in, you live away from your majority of your family members, which is a lot of Americans here, and a lot of people who like still, like, I don't know, I guess a lot of the people who are not used to like that kind of environment, like, they don't understand how hard it is until they have to raise kids on their own. And the people make a lot of shows about it. They say a lot of them are equipped, and a lot of them were on government subsidies because they didn't really realize it. And some of them, actually, this is the actual legitimate reason, is that some people would be worse off asking their family members for help because their kids will turn out worse than if they didn't. They're trying to give the kid a chance at life. That's it. Without having to end up in prison or without being killed. That's what a lot of parents are doing for their kids. But yeah, a lot of the times, like, I didn't really realize this, but you're supposed to be compensated for your work, honestly. Like, if it's something that's skilled and it requires a specific type of person to do it, and you're being forced to do so, and if you didn't do your work or whatever, you wouldn't have been at the place that you are, it means that you need to compensate that person for their time, typically financially. It's not a whore. A lot of people try to get out of it by trying to paint that person as a whore or a prostitute. That's what a lot of the people around me were trying to do, because they owe me a lot of money, and they're like, you only care about money. And the Canadian government workers or immigration officers were really upset because I was really nice and I was being polite and pleasant, and I was just behaving myself when I was on vacation. And I'm like that normally. You guys aren't. It takes a lot of work for you to do those things. I know that, but I'm not actually like that. But I guess they have a hard time understanding that people aren't like them. They're like, you're a citizen like me, and other citizens that I know are just like me. And I'm like, why do you think that is? Let's just talk for a minute. Why do you think everyone else is just like you? You think maybe the only people who can stand being around you are people who are just like you? Maybe that's why. I spilled a lot. But the pot was too small. Yeah,